Hello and welcome to the Rose Rehash. Every week I put up my Bachelor live stream, and then at the end I'm going to do a recap of episode 4 of The Golden Bachelor. So enjoy the live stream, and I'll see you back here with a fun recap. This week's episode starts with a moment of older woman making whoopee noises.
Oh my God, I've never done this before.
Except it's them getting into a hot tub. How come older women making whoopee noises is always a surprise? It's never like actual sex noises. It's always like, oh, Roger, oh. Like, are we supposed to believe that there's an age where all women are just shocked by feeling sexual pleasure? And on that note, let's do it. Here we go! 1 man, 6 women, 0 real eyebrows. Let's do it! We're back at the house, the mansion looking beautiful. Peg is on a unicycle for some unknown reason. I would need to know this as the Bachelor. I'm not dating a woman on a unicycle or a pogo stick. I end at 2-person bicycle on my whimsy scale. So, sorry, Peg, we're not a match. And I get it. They're trying to show us these women are older, but they can do anything. But, like, the beach ball shows us that. Them in the pool, in bathing suits, looking beautiful. We don't need a unicycle. How about you show them answering a phone without sounding like they're being chased by a murderer, like my mom does? How about answering the phone, hello? I'd be like, wow, they're such a with it woman. They're like such a modern woman, instead of my mom who answers it, hello, are you okay? How about you show them getting into their Netflix without the help from a son or daughter? Then we'd be like, whoa, we don't need a unicycle. This is too much. Peg rode me for hours. It was the most amazing experience of my life. Mel, if you're watching this, choose her. She was strong. She was soft. She was nurturing. She held me between her thighs in a way that I can't even describe. What a woman. Cindy and Carol discuss that they haven't had a one-on-one yet. Cindy's like, I'm staying no matter what. He could tell me, let's go in the back and do a 10-minute handy, and I'll consider that a one-on-one. Carol is like, I'm leaving if I don't get a one-on-one. She's like, I got to get home soon. I got to change my eyebrows from very interested to slightly interested. I think it's giving off the wrong signs. They're going to announce the group date. Whoever isn't called will get a one-on-one date. Look at this.
You know how sweaty my hand is?
Look at Cindy's like, feel how sweaty my hand is. If I were Nicole, I'd be like, then why are you touching me? Why would you touch me with your sweaty hand? You can just tell me. That's such a older woman mom thing to do. Oh, do you feel how sweaty my hand is? Yeah, I would have just believed you. Now we're both sweaty. So there's the date card. This is a big moment to see who gets the one-on-one. Peg is wearing what looks like the most comfortable outfit I have ever seen. I've never been more jealous. I could never wear this as a man because I would just look like a Miami drug dealer who got really into food. I can't wear a set.
Right before home counts.
Okay, let's see who's on the date card. They hold hands to show each other how sweaty they are.
Me, Peg.
Yeah, we know your name. This is a little late, Peg, to announce your name. Look, Nicole's like, oh, that's Peg. Okay, don't show like you didn't know. Good. I was hoping she'd say her own name out loud. I've been calling her Sis just to keep it less awkward. It got past the point of asking, thank you, Peg, for saying that name out loud. Nicole gets called. She shakes her head as if she didn't know her own name. Carol. So Carol doesn't get a one-on-one date the whole season. Cindy reacts as if a psychic medium just like said a very specific thing about a dead relative, and now she's reacting to that. Like, oh my God, Aunt Sally did love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We head to the mountains for the group date where Mel is waiting for the women as if they are coming to fight to the death. This is such a weird way for him to wait for them. Welcome to Mel Mountain. Today you ladies are going to prove your worth. You'll be let out into the woods and try to survive for 3 weeks. Whoever comes back nourished and ready for a Mel date will win. Like, this is a weird way to wait for them.
I'm inviting 5 of the women up to...
Watch how he smiles as they come up the mountain. He's like, yes. Welcome to the Thunderdome, ladies. Get ready to take a stick and turn it into a big old spear. Like, if I were one of the women, I'd be like, hey, why were you sitting there deep in thought while staring at a blade of grass? He's like, come on up to this fun platform that looks like it'd be great for a karate match where the winner gets my love. But no, we'll do a fun little meditation instead.
Spirituality.
So Mel says spirituality is very important to him, which is, that is like, that's like 2 glasses of wine to a single woman of a certain age. He just said spirituality, and I think Deb is going to have her head explode. She's like, you're spiritual? I'm single and never been married in my 60s. Let's go to the woods and make love right now. Mel asked them to try and be open to this. Mel, you're asking a group of women in their 60s to do some spiritual. They're going to take a crystal and they're going to stick it in their eyeball if you ask them to. And then he introduced Shaman Danny. They react to Shaman Danny as if she's Elton John. Take a look at Shaman Danny. This is like an SNL sketch of a white woman being a shaman. Like, you can't go by Shaman Danny when you look like this. I know she has purple hair, so that makes her a shaman to them. But can we at least call her went online and got a certificate to be a Shaman Danny? Like, took a course in Shaman Danny? Like, I can't call her Shaman Danny looking like she just got here from a BOGO at Payless. So they all sit down for this very spiritual date with Shaman Danny, who might have 10 pounds of trinkets on her right now.
You've been trying to
And she shows them the art projects they're going to do. She put out a bunch of pens. She's like, I want you to write what made you angry at Trader Joe's today.
You're going to write
That's something I learned in my shaman class. This is a very woman of a certain age thing where you're going to go a little too sad. And then Carol's like, I'm worthy too. And then they're all like, we're all worthy. We're all here to let go of how not worthy we feel. Like, if that were me at this event, I'd be like, I'm trying to let go of a little gas. And then I'd fart. And then hopefully everyone would laugh. And then we'd move on. Like, these women are like Shaman Danny's like, no, give me more. Shaman Danny's like, I'm trying to let go of the horrific nightmares I have from an ex who wouldn't let me dye my hair any other color but normal blonde or brunette. And look at me now, purple, in my 60s. People know that I know things about incense now.
It's friction.
Mel's going to let go of friction.
All the friction in my life.
Well, and nobody asks him any questions. This is so Mel, to be vague about his past life with his ex. I'm done with friction. None of that friction stuff that I used to deal with in my last marriage. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no friction. So you're very abrasive? Are there arguments in your marriage? He's like, no, we had a great divorce. The papers were on the kitchen table. I signed them. We haven't spoken since. Please stop asking me questions about it. They're going to do spiritual things that are kind of sexual while Danny watches. She's got to make sure that they're being appropriately weird while she tells them that this mud is somehow going to help their gut and their chemical balances. Ladies get together. Nicole has made it clear that she is here for the wrong reasons, openly here for the wrong reasons. And then she says that she's feeling some negative energy when she literally looks like she is dressed as the ghost of bad energy currently. Mel and Cheryl are doing the ice bath.
You know what happens when you're in this cold water?
And he's like, you know what happens when you're in this cold water? Please do not look near my crotch. It gets very small, and it is the water. It has nothing to do with Papa Mel, okay? Papa Mel is just fine. Papa Mel is working a hog, okay? But not in this water. And it's because of the water. That's science. That's not your dear old Uncle Mel. Your dear old Uncle Mel is doing just fine down there. Cheryl says she's falling in love with Mel. Mel is very responsive to her.
Thank you. This hasn't happened.
I mean, does anything say, I love you too, like that face? Doesn't that look like the love from a father that you're like, that's just how he is? So you take it, because if you don't, you just think he doesn't love you. That's the face Mel's giving. This is as loving as I get. That's the face. So it's Debbie's turn for the sexualized version of the spiritual date. Shaman Danny has found a live one in Debbie. Debbie would give her all her money if she could. I mean, look at her, look at Shaman Danny. She would join her cult in half a second. Shaman Danny would be like, yeah, I do this group every Saturday. And she'd go, say no more. I'm in. How much do you need? I'll sign my house over to you. I'm in. Whatever you say, Shaman Danny, you're wearing a loosely fitting shirt and you have purple hair. I will believe anything you say about health, wellness, finances. I'm in. Shaman Danny's like, wrap your legs around him. Say no more. Debbie's in. She's like, I'll wrap my legs around his face and wear them like, he can wear me like goggles. And now, look at this energy Debbie's putting into Mel. You can feel what she's thinking. She's like, marry me. Marry me now. There's an empty closet in my house that can fit all of your clothing. And look at Mel's like, I think she's saying, I'll go down on you? Is that what her eyes are saying? I'll go down on you with the ferocity of 1,000 women? Debbie, let's move on to some fun stuff. We get it. You haven't been in love. You haven't been married. It's been a while.
It's been like 14 years.
Oh, you don't have to say the exact amount of time.
No.
Debbie, enough. She's like, it's been a while. I haven't even been naked in front of a man in the past 10 years. There might be cobwebs down there. But I'm really feeling something for you.
I can't even begin to tell you how much it would mean to me to have you walk in the front door to meet my sister.
I mean, she's basically warning Mel. She's like, just know that if you end this after walking into my house, you're about to see a freak out not known to mankind. Debbie's about 6 seconds away from telling Mel about her found family. And then Mel being like, what's a found family? And she's going to have to be like, that's the family people have when they don't have their own family. It's like the kitchen drawer with all the random stuff in it, with the kitchen scissors and the scotch tape and the extra batteries.
Really falling.
That's like what we are, but people. We find each other to do Thanksgivings and other holidays that people usually have a family for. We call it a found family. Now they sit with Shaman Danny, who's going to do a reading. Shaman Danny does it all. She went for the all-inclusive package for the Shaman special for her online certificate.
Each other and then pick which card calls.
Shaman Danny with a MBA in spiritual. She has them turn over a card. Why does the card look like it's from the Never-Ending Story. Like, is this the Never-Ending Story card game? This doesn't look very official.
Without
Shaman Danny picked up her kids' playing cards and was like, yeah, these will do. Like, that pendant is probably from, like, a Magic the Gathering gift set of some sort. I can promise you that Shaman Danny and Nicole don't get along. Like, Nicole probably took half the courses that Shaman Danny took and then told Shaman Danny, like, I get it. I've taken, the courses you took, but I couldn't make it through the end because there was a sale at Saks Fifth Avenue, so I kind of had to abandon it. But I totally get it. Like, I could do what you do. And Shaman Danny's like, yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, that's the witness card. That's the one that says you guys probably won't get married. Good luck.
You see yourself in 5 years?
My dad is kind of...
Mel asks Nicole a very interview question of where she sees herself in 5 years. And then Nicole gives the answer that a girl who's 25 with a rich dad would give.
And working on monetizing that.
That she wants to monetize her Instagram account and wants to do healthy meals. Like, this is the same speech a girl named Amanda gave, who just graduated from Indiana University, to her dad at their Montauk house when she was asked what she's going to do for work. Then they're on their way out, and look at this.
Just give me pause.
They give him a kiss just for the camera.
She asked for a kiss for the camera.
Thank you. That meant a lot.
And thanks him for the kiss in front of the camera. I think Nicole is familiar with reality TV, but not dating shows. Like, this is a very Bravo Housewives move that they're going to show some of, but not all of. Like, and people would be entertained. In this show, when you're, like, playing the game, we're all kind of like, Mel says, let's go for a hike, and Cindy is in cowboy boots.
I brought my cowboy boots, not my hiking boots, but they're the same. If you
She's trying to keep a good attitude about this by saying, oh, they're the same. Nah, that's not how she feels. If they get married, Mel will hear about this for the rest of his life, that he didn't tell her what they were doing on the date, and she wore cowboy boots, and she couldn't feel her feet that night. They hurt so much, and he better end it right now, because I don't know if I'd want to deal with this for the rest of my life. Hearing that I messed up the shoe wear communication on our first date. They're going to go horseback riding. So they go on this horseback riding date, and Mel is having some issues. He does not look comfortable on that horse. A lot of weird noises. Him on the horse is very stiff. It looks like he just made his pants and he doesn't want to show anything, because if he moves a little, he's like going to show that his white pants might have a stain on the butt. So he just keeps it upright. I'm not here to embarrass anyone or shame an older man, because as you get older, I understand. You lose control of your muscles and you don't know your body the same way. So yeah, I felt him fart. The vibration went through my back while he was on top of me, and then it got smelly. It smelled, and then it was wet on my back. So I think he did have an oopsie, and I'll take a bath tonight. We'll be better tomorrow. I'm not gonna put this out to People Magazine or anything like that. He just had an accident. It's okay. It's my little secret. So the horse date leads to this observatory where they are sitting on these couches. If I were Mel, I'd be like, no, this isn't going to work for me. This is not going to fit my body. I would look like I was pregnant, or that I was sitting like at a Turkish bazaar and I was this big Buddha figure. Like, good for Mel and his body being able to look okay in a position like this. My leg would be so numb from falling asleep that I wouldn't be able to get up ever again. This is not
Texas and a little bit of California.
a place that I would be comfortable. The most embarrassing part of these chairs is getting up. Like, it would be like 7 tries for me. Like, I'd have to go, and then she would have to help me up, and we'd have to go 3, 2, and that's how I'd have to get up. Like, she would see how powerless I am. I can't have this. This won't be how I'm ever sitting on a date. Cindy opens up about her marriage and how it was never a good one and how she got divorced.
It's like standing on your
And
and then having someone come next to you.
it's got to be hard to tell such a personal story to this brick wall of a human.
Knocks you off.
No one looks more judgy than Mel. Like, he just looks like he's going to go, oh, really? So it just didn't work. But were you waking up early every morning and going for a run? You know, if you take care of your health, everything else falls into place. Like, he looks like the type that would be like, did you take any probiotics? Maybe that's how the marriage fell apart. Maybe if you woke up every morning and shaved and brushed your teeth well, it would be better for the marriage. Like, he does have the look of someone I would never want to tell anything personal to. Mel says he got a gift for Cindy, and it's a star named after her, which is like number 2 on the gift list Hall of Fame. Right behind coupon for a massage anytime you'd like. A star being named after you is what star, Mel? Point at the star that's named after Cindy. I mean, this is like almost as bad as getting her a pet rock. This is the type of gift that, like, my mom would go, what? What am I going to do with a star? So they give the women iPads to call their loved ones to let them know that next week is hometowns and they might be bringing Mel home.
There's no doubt.
And then they show Deb calling home.
She's in it for real.
Mel's like, Debbie is for real. Debbie might have a nervous breakdown if I end it. And look at Debbie's calling her cat. She's like, Whiskers, just so you know, another man might be coming into our home next week, and I need you to be good. I know you don't like when other men come over. And then they go to Whiskers. Let's see Whiskers. Listen to me. Deborah, listen to me. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves. He's a nice guy, but he's not everything. We're going to be fine, you and I, no matter what happens. So listen to me. Stop talking about how you've been single for 14 years and no man has stepped into our home. Be cool about this. He seems nice, but we will be fine no matter what. Now repeat after me. We're going to be fine. So if he comes home, we're going to be cool. We're going to be fun. And we're just going to be chill. And we're going to enjoy ourselves. This was about enjoying ourselves. This was an adventure, no matter win, lose, or draw. There's no lose. There's no lose, Deborah. Remember. Debbie actually calls her sister, and you can tell the sister has done this before.
You've connected and really like him. Oh, yeah, more than like. More than like.
Look at that's a sister who knows not to say too much. You're not going to upset anybody. Just keep a soft tone and be excited and don't get into specifics. She's like, more than like, cool. Like, that's a sister who's had an argument with her sister about a new boyfriend many times. She has learned her lesson. Just going to keep it soft-toned and positive. Peg calls her daughter, and I gotta say, Peg is bringing it. Look at this look. She went with the big hair. The boobs are out. Peg came to win. And look at, you can tell, like, Peg is a guy's girl. These two light up talking about Peg. So Nicole, in true villain form, doesn't call family. She calls a random friend who she's okay with at the time and will probably have a falling out with at some point soon. She's like, I just called the friend that I drink white wine with and talk badly about other friends with. That's my go-to personal call. So we're at the rose ceremony. Cindy got a rose. We're going to hometowns with her. Peg gets a rose, who really came to play tonight. Big hair, cleavage out. And look at, this is the pro move. She only did up the front. The back, she just said, screw it. I don't need to take the hair iron to the back. She knew Mel wasn't going to see the details. He was just going to see big hair, big boobs, and the back didn't matter. This is like,
Yes, of course.
see, look at, this is like Two-Face. This is like two different people from the back and the front. And she knew he wasn't going to notice a thing. Great job by Peg. And the final rose goes to... Did Mel die?
Debbie.
No. Okay, Debbie. Debbie got the rose. 65 years young, never been married. And look at Nicole continuing her villain display, does an eye roll at the woman we're cheering for most. And Debbie, the people's champ. Cheryl, we were always a fan of Cheryl. Looks like Nicole's healthy cookbook and Instagram career will have to get an earlier start than anticipated. Nicole gets escorted out and does everything in her power to make every woman in America hate her. Listen to this.
You know, it's always been there.
And when it doesn't work out with the one you pick, because it probably won't, you call me.
I mean, that is going to earn her no new friends. Call me if it doesn't work out with these women, because it probably won't. And when you call me, you won't have to marry me on national television, and you'll probably get a great sexual night with me. This is like devious. Hey, do you want a no strings attached hang? Just putting that out there. So if you want to go get married to the woman who literally made a doll out of your hair, you can do that, or you can go and hook up with me in Miami. See ya!
It's just
And then she makes her pitch for the Bachelorette.
just around the corner. Mel didn't choose me, but maybe you'll choose me for the Golden Bachelorette.
I mean, the key to being the Golden Bachelorette is to be likable and to never say that you want to be the Golden Bachelorette. She just failed both requirements and then winks at the camera as if this was her plan the whole time. Wow, what an exit. Mel says, tell the families we're coming.
Anyone home was 14 years ago.
Debbie continues to make it sadder than it needs to be. Yells, get ready, Judy, we're coming. That's it for me, and that's it for The Bachelor. Follow, share, tell a friend. I'll be back next week for Hometown. Okay, welcome to the recap of episode 4 of The Golden Bachelor. I have to say, this is what I watched the show for. This was a perfect episode because I love the episode. And I'm saying this after having been on one of the episodes. My episode was not a perfect episode. This where you have the combination of, you have like, there was an element of like crazies with Nicole and the way she kind of went about things. There was an element of I'm looking for love with Cindy and honest, earnest love-seeking. And there was stupidity that they didn't know was stupidity. Like it had Shaman Danny will forever be my favorite character that's ever been on this show. Shaman Danny, we're going to get to her, but we start with, I have my notes in front of me because I didn't want to forget anything. We start with hanging at the house. We're at the house. There's going to be a group date. And the setup of the whole episode is, hey, we have a group date. This is pre-hometowns. So this is an important, like, we're going to take a step as a couple. And that's why this show is great. When people say they don't like The Bachelor, they're really not being thoughtful. And then because what they'll say to cut you at the knees, they'll say, oh, it's not real. The reality is this show is professional wrestling. Yes, it lives in an unreal setting, but the wrestlers have to take the bumps. They still have to jump off the top rope, just like these people have to have first date, first kiss, talk about themselves, all these things that real people have to go through in a dating scenario. So do the people on The Golden Bachelor. And the reality of it is, hey, you're going to meet my family, and I'm not going to just bring anyone home, and I'm not just going to go home to anyone's family. I know that means something more. So that's where we stand in this episode. There are real stakes. I'm going to have to introduce one of you to grandkids. I'm going to have to introduce this stranger named Mel who looks like Herman Munster to my grandkids. Like, that's a real stake. That's a real thing. So if someone wants to say, oh, it's so fake, it's so stupid, fine, let them. But they're not really thinking it through. They're not a thoughtful person. So we start this episode living in that reality. Hey, we have a group date coming up. There's going to be 5 women on the group date, and there's going to be 1 woman who's going to have the one-on-one date. Now, there's 2 women, Carol and Cindy, who both haven't had one-on-one time. That's important. So we see them chit-chatting about what are you going to do, if you don't get the one-on-one. Carol and Cindy are two different sides of the coin. There's Carol who's like, listen, if I don't get a one-on-one, how can I go home with him? How can I bring him to my family? Cindy doesn't seem to have that view, which is fine. That's okay to disagree. Cindy seems to say, I really want the one-on-one, and then we'll see how I feel. We'll see how he makes me feel. She's less definitive. And that's how the whole episode is set up. So they're at the house. Peggy is on a unicycle for some reason, which, again, that is the perfect thing to happen for me. I see boomer woman on a unicycle because she either brought her own unicycle, which that should have been her entrance. That's something we need to know. Or production was like, we're just going to leave a unicycle here, and if someone picks it up, we're going to get some real good eye candy out of it. So it's somewhere between those two. Is it Peg is a unicyclist and brought her own? They were like, hey, you can bring some fun personal items. And she's like, I got to get my makeup. I got to get my sunglasses. And I got to get my unicycle. If that happened, I want to know that. Or it was production being like, if any of these older women go on a unicycle, we have won the lottery, so let's just leave it out, put it in the garage. Or, this is the most likely scenario, Peg put on her fun facts, I can ride a unicycle. Production sees that. They go, we'll leave a unicycle out. Let's see what happens. Let's bring the horse to water, see if it drinks. It's just one of those things that you see it's also one of those things that you're like, okay, production, you want us to know. And this is all about this show, and they know they get a lot of mileage out of it, is inspiration. Look at these people of a certain age doing things you never imagined they could do. They can even get on a unicycle. Look at her, she's on a pogo stick. Look at her, she's going to jump out of an airplane. Look, this is why the show is fantastic. So now we get the group date card is read. Cindy gets the one-on-one. She reacts as if she just won Best Actress after years in Hollywood and never getting the award and acknowledgement she deserves. And finally she gets it. Cindy is in, likes him, wants the whole thing. Carol doesn't get the one-on-one. You can see this is weighing on her. This is a big deal. She doesn't get the one-on-one time. I believe Carol. I find her to be an honest participant on this show. I think people could hate on Carol just because of her looks. She's a beautiful woman who has kind of like the Barbie look, and also, she's done up, and you go, oh, but as it turns out, when you get to know Carol through the show, of course we don't know her, you find out it feels like this person is really an honest, like, I'm new to dating and I don't know how to do this a little bit, and I don't know how to put myself out there, and I'm a little bit in my shell. And I appreciate that about Carol. I like her. But you could tell, like, I'm not going to bring someone home who I don't have that connection with. I'm trying, I'm here for it, but it's not happening, and we're not getting the time to do that because there's no one-on-one date. Fine. So we go to the group date, and the whole thing is a spirituality group date. And it starts with Mel sitting on a mountain like he's Tony Perkis, and he, like, Mel's sitting on that mountain waiting for the women to get up there. It was very 80s movie, very Jean-Claude Van Damme, very like we're about to, have a fight to the death. Like it was very death matchy. He starts the date by saying, listen, spirituality to a woman in her 60s who is on the cusp of retirement and not really worrying about their income every month is like catnip. Like you have brought you've brought fries out that smell delicious and these women are salivating. He starts talking about spirituality, and it's funny that he's like, I just need you guys to keep an open mind. And it's like, they are so far beyond you, Mel, and their open-mindedness to the idea of spirituality and crystals and all these things that, Mel acts like he's talking to a bunch of guys who played with him on the LA Rams. Like, I just need you guys to keep an open mind. Mel, the idea, like, for Mel, for that to be an honest, I need you guys to keep an open mind. Like, Mel would have to bring a dude up and be like, this is my boyfriend, and we're looking for a third. That's the big surprise here, and it's all about spirituality. Like, that would be something where they would need to keep an open mind. There is no open-mindedness needed here. He brings in Shaman Danny. Shaman Danny, bringing up a shaman. Okay, great. Can't wait to see the shaman. For the shaman to be a white woman with purple hair and flowy clothing, I was like, did I produce this show? Are they doing this for me? I've never been happier in my entire life. I saw Shaman Dan. Also, to go by Shaman Danielle, who now goes by Shaman Danny, it is so up my alley for why I love this show. The fact that I don't know if they know how stupid and ridiculous this looks. Shaman Dan, if they do, and it's like this, like, we're not going to say anything, we're just going to like, because I'm sure Shaman Danny, this is her business. I am positive. I'm positive that Shaman Danny doesn't understand why I think she's so funny. She actually probably finds it offensive that I'd be like, you're the shaman? Like, she wouldn't like that. Shaman Danny looks like she went online, took a course in shamanism, and now, starts selling her wares to women that look like the women that go on the Golden Bachelor. This is her wheelhouse. And I am so happy to watch all of this. Shaman Danny looks like she took one trip to Sedona, and now it's her whole personality. Shaman Danny was married to a guy named Bradley, and they lived in the suburbs of LA, and then they got a divorce, and she went on her spiritual journey, did some ayahuasca, and now she's here on The Bachelorette, or on The Bachelor. It's perfection. It is actual perfection. It is to be made fun of. It is hilarious. I say this as I hope they found value from it. When it comes to spirituality, when someone finds something, a nugget, and they can hold on to that and find inspiration in that, that's good for them. I will make fun of that. I will look at Shaman Danny and look at a friend and nudge them and go, she's Shaman Danny? Is that really what it is? Like, this is, like, I don't know how to say chef's kiss times a million. Like, this is, Shaman Danny shows up, and she's going to take them through a spiritual journey. They start with, like, a big group version. And she says, there's some pens in front of you you're going to write down. Now, I do believe no one goes to the saddest option quicker than my mom and women of that age. You call your mom, she's like, guess who's dead? And you're like, can we just like have a conversation? Can we just like say hello first? You know who has cancer? Like, it's like, well, give me a minute. Hi, how was your morning? Like, no, moms don't do that. They go straight to the most horrific outcome. And this is where we see Debbie is who we're cheering for. Debbie is I had Debbie clocked from minute one when Debbie was introduced. And they said, Debbie, tell us about yourself. And she said, I'm 65 years young. That is someone who we need to keep a camera on at all times. Like if you say I'm 65 years young, okay, we have some issues with age. What's going on here? When I hear, if someone said to me, oh, hi, I'm Debbie, I'm 65 years young. I'm getting closer. I'm zoning in. I'm like, okay, what's going to go on with this person? Because now Debbie, who we are into this show, Debbie, who seemingly has fallen for Mel, she has also fallen for the idea that she is closer than she's maybe ever been to an engagement, something she's wanted. She's never been married. She's concentrated on her career. These are all relatable things. Like, Debbie is a very relatable character on this show. Debbie is a lot of the people watching the show. Debbie's me a little bit. Debbie and I have a lot in common. Concentrated on the career. You know, I'm sure Debbie was in a hotel room talking to herself in while reviewing people's habits on The Bachelor and the Golden Bachelor. In a certain way, we are a lot alike. I'm 40. I'm single. I am, in this age of like, man, I kind of thought it would have happened. I kind of thought I would have been in a different road. That's Debbie. Debbie's a lot of us. So I make fun of Debbie because we're so deep in this, but Debbie keeps bringing up the saddest possible option as far as conversation. And I know that's what we're getting shown, and that's the editing. That's fine. But she is saying these words because they go to the women. Shaman Danny is like, hey, everyone write down something that you want to shed. Just write down the word and you're going to shed it, which I kind of understand as an exercise. They go, Debbie, what did you write down? And Debbie goes, hopelessness. And you're like, Debbie, you're still dating. You're still on a date. You're still trying to get Mel to get to know you. I don't know if I'm writing hopelessness. I think that's like the saddest thing you could ever write. How about like, I want to shed a little bit of loneliness might be better. Hopelessness. And they show Mel and he's like, oh, really? Okay, hopelessness. You're like, oh. So they go around like hopelessness. I think Peg had a better one. Peg had a better one than hopelessness. Hopelessness made me laugh out loud. Hopelessness made me go, Debbie, come on. Enough. Be a little fun. Be a little, like, how about do a joke one? And hopelessness is so dark. They go to Mel, and his is, he wants to shed friction. This is now becoming a theme with Mel. Mel will randomly kind of hint at this really tough breakup and divorce that he had. When you say, I want to shed friction, okay, Mel, who have you had friction with? Was there a lot of arguments? You and your ex-wife recently got done through the divorce process that took 4 years. How about a little info on that? No, he just says friction and they all just go, oh, that's nice. And no one questions him at all. A theme here on this show. I can't believe not one of these women have been like, I have further questions. So the first part of the date is this like group setting where they're writing down horrific things they want to shed. Then they each get a turn doing like a more physical version of a spiritual date led by Shaman Danny. Peg gets the mud bath, Cheryl in the cold tub. There's tantric yoga with Deb, who tantric yoga, she does like a yoga thing where they're like, wrap their legs around one another. There's a tarot card reading with Nicole, which is a little bit foreshadowing of like, hey, we have questions of Nicole. Nicole's the one we don't really trust. And he's been delivered that message. They basically they're like, Mel in the past episode is like, hey, you got to watch out if people are here for the right reasons. And now you get the tarot card. Like if I were Mel, I'd be like, okay, who's getting the tarot card date? Like that's the one I got to watch out for because it's kind of a symbol of like, hey, what don't we know here? And then we go into I'll go into the tarot card date with Nicole a little bit. Nicole, you can tell Mel is on to Nicole. And he even says, he's like, I'm an observer. I'm not one to like just start screaming and yelling. I'm going to observe and then I'm going to make my decision, which is I get it. He sits with Nicole and he basically asks her 5-year plan. When you ask a woman that you're dating their 5-year plan, you're wondering where the money comes from. How are you making a living? I know that Peg is a bomb diffuser with the fire department. I know that Cheryl does mountain biking and, like I would assume, and this is my assumption, my opinion, that he heard from all these people and what they did and the careers they built. And, Debbie, I'm a fitness person that made videos and, during a certain era, and they've been on, and I've been super successful with that. And like all of these things, you go, I get it. And then you go, Nicole, where does this, Nicole, and this is the thing, nobody's stupid. Nicole, you're wearing a Rolex, you got gold, you're bathing in gold. What's going on here and what do you plan on doing in 5 years? And Nicole's speech about when you're in your 60s as a woman and you go, well, my dad handles the accounting. That means dad gives me money. That there's no other explanation. And I guess he's like a 90-year-old accountant. He's got to be he's an accountant. He's still she's still on the payroll is what I kind of got from that. And then she does a thing where she's like, well, and she starts going into this, like, I want to do a cookbook and my social media. And like the minute she says the social media stuff, you could see Mel's like, I get it. He's not stupid. And they walk away from it and she's like, let me get a kiss for the camera. And I do think Nicole came on here to get a following. She came on here for the wrong reasons. I think she has a misunderstanding of what gets you a following from a dating show. I think she watches the Bravo shows and she thinks, oh, you just have to be the drama and you'll find your people who agree with your side of the drama. And like, I would love to see the whatever the footage is on the cutting room floor of Nicole, because I would assume the Bachelor producers are like, we have so much good stuff here, but it's not for this show. Like, you even see she's like, people are giving negative energy, and I think the next voting, the next time he cuts someone, we'll lose a lot of that negative energy. She's talking as if the drama is something they're after. And I think with a dating show, you're after drama, but you're after reality, and you're after someone looking for love. You're after a Deb. You're looking for Debbie. You're looking for inspiration. You're looking for relatability. Coming on a dating show and cutting down the other women to try and, win the guy is not really a big part of this audience. And I think Nicole misunderstood that, because we go to, so we see this like fake kiss she does, and then, which is like, just, it's super transparent. She even says, get it for the cameras, and they keep that in. And I think it's to show like Nicole never really got it, what this is all about. Like, that's the production turning on Nicole. So now we go to Carol. Her date is in the yurt. They do this, Shaman Danny is at full hilarious Shaman Danny. She's beating a drum, saying to look for your inner child. It is all SNL sketch lines that Shaman Danny would be saying in a spoof about a Shaman Danny. So then Carol pulls Mel aside and is like, hey, I'm out of here, which made total sense. She leaves with dignity. She leaves with grace. They have a nice hug. It is all good stuff. And we're going to see the opposite version of leaving when Nicole leaves later in the episode. So now we come back to the house, or we go to the one-on-one date. Cindy gets her one-on-one date. Not much here, the one-on-one date. Cindy is in love, fun, beautiful, into it. That's it. And wants to make Mel her priority, and really wants to be with someone. And I think Mel fits that bill. They meet. They're going to go hiking up Griffith Park. Cindy even says it's on her bucket list to go to Griffith Park. I don't believe that for a second. I don't think anyone's bucket list item is to go to a park. A bucket list item is something you hope to achieve before death. It's not walking through a park, okay? So then they go hiking. She's in cowboy boots. And she mentions the wrong shoe thing. That is the difference between, like, I need to impress him versus, like, I want to know if we're a match. Like, I think Cindy feels the need to impress Mel because any normal person would go, hey, I'm changing my shoes. I know this looks, I'm not hiking in cowboy boots. So they go hiking in the cowboy boots. It feels like Cindy needs Mel a little bit, is after Mel. And I think Mel likes that. You know, he gets his ego stroked. You're amazing. Look how hot you are. Oh my God. You know, Cindy playing the cheerleader. She's a former cheerleader. This all makes sense as to why he'd be into her as much as she's into him. And they go horseback riding. You know, Mel's having trouble with the horse, but not really. And Mel, again, we see into his psyche a little bit, how he's like, look at how old I am. And I just added a new skill. He makes that. That's a very, like, I am cocky athlete, University of Michigan man. Oh, look at me. I'm at this age. I'm getting on a horse. It's like, okay, we get who Mel is right now. It's like, that's when he shows his personality, when he shows how cocky he is. And so then they get to the Griffith Park and they sit on this like big blanket and the worst seating ever, which I wouldn't be into. This chair that's on the ground. He's got he's lying back. Like if I lied back like this for a date, it would just be like the worst camera angle I've ever in my entire life. And then he gives her a star named after her, which is like here's a coupon for a free massage of bad gifts. They have a make out on the roof with the observatory. It's all cute and wonderful. No, you could feel at the end of it, you go, Cindy is going to go to hometowns. She's going to be super happy with how the date went. And Mel gets to be, the knight in shining armor, which is what he likes to be. So now we go to the rose ceremony, and there's only a couple things to talk about. They give out iPads to everyone, and they're like, basically like, hey, call home and let them know you've come pretty far in this process, which I think is a nice thing to do. Hey, and everyone calls a loved one to be like, hey, get prepared. There might be a guy coming home. And Debbie talking to the sister is like the most longtime single woman talking to her sister who's married conversation you've ever seen. It's a sister who you can tell that's like had these arguments with her and told her, you need to download the apps. And the sister who's single, because at this point the dust has settled and the sister has given up and she's going, good, you're bringing someone home. Peg talks to the daughter. Cheryl talks to her son and grandkids. And Nicole calls just a friend. And that's where you go, okay, Nicole, when you call just a friend, a buddy, some woman you get wine with that you're probably going to have a falling out with in a couple months anyways, you go, okay, Nicole came here with a plan. Nicole came here to be, again, the wrong reasons. As she's admitted, she's been as open about being here for the wrong reasons as anyone has ever been on a reality show. So we get to the rose ceremony, and the final rose goes to Debbie. It's going to be Cindy, Debbie, and Peg. We're going to their hometowns. Cheryl leaves very peacefully, nicely, the whole thing. I feel for Cheryl, but I don't see her as the next Golden Bachelorette, but she was great. And then Nicole, who does a huge eye roll when she doesn't get the rose. So she is just wanting to be a certain character archetype on this show. And then he leads her out, and she really does the worst thing you can do is hug all these women, say goodbye, say how much you love them and how wonderful they are. And then you get with the guy afterwards and you're like, hey, when it doesn't work out with all these women that I just hugged and told how amazing and wonderful they are, when that ends, because it will, call me, because you can call me and I want, and she can't really mean that. She's like, you can call me and have a no strings attached hookup, which is like, as far as like the meanest thing you can do, like to the group of women there, it's high on the list. You're basically saying, hey, guy who's on a show to commit, you could not commit and still get banged if you come to Miami. And it's like you've added this incentive to not pick any of the women that you just told were amazing. And if you're sitting there going, what incentive to go hook up in Miami? Yeah, I think there's incentive to, hey, I'm not ready, but there's someone out there who will hug and kiss me and make me feel less lonely. I have a woman to fall. I have a fallback plan that also doesn't include me having to get married and be, responsible for someone. So it's really an evil thing because she doesn't mean that. She's saying that for the camera. She's saying that to create drama because she knows it will get on camera. She has already said earlier in the show, hey, kiss me. And then thanks him for kissing her because she's like, I know I'll get something on camera. When we kiss, that is more camera time for me. Then she gets in the Uber and she's like, maybe you'll make me the next Golden Bachelorette. And it's like, there's a couple rules here with becoming the next Golden Bachelorette, next Bachelorette, Bachelor. You don't say it. She, again, this kind of goes back to my theory. I think she watches Bravo shows and sees how people are successful on those shows and is related to this. This is not who we're cheering for in a dating show. If we saw Debbie going in the Uber and saying, maybe it'll never happen, that's who we want as the Golden. Not, hey, after I'm done banging Mel, can you put me on the show? That's not who we're cheering for. So just a wonderful episode of The Golden. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed, what you enjoyed, any of the fun we had here. I'd love hearing back from you here on YouTube. Get subscribed if you're here this deep into the show. We do this every week. So back next week. Boom.